Are we really about to clear our throat before tossing this mess into the atmosphere? Yeah, we are. I gotta loosen it up before we let this lie fly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Because I'm about to give y'all the real version of events. The truth is loading. Just give it a second. Sit back, pull up your pants, and let me break this all the way down. First, let me just spit out this little lie real quick so we can move past the nonsense. What's up, y'all? It's your girl. Do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, share the video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to hear from you. This one is spicy, so let's jump straight into it. Let's talk about this right here. Mayor Christopher Clark. Yep, Tiffany's former neighbor. Real slick character. One of those folks who smiles real wide, but you know something's not adding up behind the eyes. Now, no trustee, no real leadership energy, but somehow he's calling the shots again. And guess what? Jedediah's back in Harvey, stirring the pot. And you already know what that means. Drama is coming. Baby, grab your snacks, because it's about to be a full-on soap opera. Listen, I was literally watching this man give an interview like Liv 5 minutes in, and boom, caught him slipping. Straight contradiction. Not even trying to hide it. I paused that video, and let me tell you, the face he made, comedy gold, had to just sit there and laugh. Is this the face of someone you'd trust with a city? Nope, not in this lifetime. So now, I'm dragging y'all down this rabbit hole with me. Buckle up, because this ride is full of bumps and receipts. For those who don't know, Christopher Clark is the mayor of Harvey. And let me tell you what I do know about Harvey. Remember when Tiffany held one of her little community meetings in that courtroom-looking building? Yeah, that exact spot. That's where Chris holds his meetings now. That's his setup. That's his whole domain. Same stage, same stale energy, same drama. Let's be real here. He's terrible. Flat out awful. And it shows. You don't even have to squint to see it. The man's leadership is flimsy at best, and a walking red flag at worst. And I'm allowed to say that. Yep, Chris, I said it. You are not my mayor. You don't speak for me? So come on, let's get into the nitty-gritty. During the interview, he's just casually talking to someone, all calm, all smooth, and they call him Chris. Like, no big deal, right? First name basis. But this man flips. You'd think they slapped his mama. Suddenly it's all, my name is King. Excuse me? King, sir. You are doing too much. Ain't nobody bowing down to you? That energy right there? That's not confidence. That's insecurity wrapped in delusion. Now think about this. Who even talks like that in regular conversation? Don't call me Chris. That's disrespectful to the seat. The seat, sir. It's a city office chair, not a throne. The only time I might even understand getting a little tight about how someone addresses you is if you're a teacher or something. Because then, sure, you need some boundaries. It's like, hey, I'm not your buddy. I'm your teacher. That makes sense for kids to set a tone. But these aren't children. These are adults. Grown folks, your own community. So when this man snaps over being called by his name, Chris, that's literally what's on your birth certificate, bro. It's giving insecure, it's giving petty, it's giving main character syndrome. Like you really thought someone calling you Chris was going to dethrone your power. That says more about your grip on leadership than anything else. And what really had me side-eyeing the whole thing, the way his energy changed. All of a sudden, he starts doing that exaggerated neck roll thing. You know, the same gesture that's constantly pinned on black women as a stereotype. Anytime a man, especially a black man, starts mimicking that, you already know there's some tension under the surface. And yeah, I said it. There's definitely some spice there. It's giving jealousy. It's giving envy. Sir, it's giving I wish Shakoops and Slay 2 vibes. Just be yourself. Maybe if you focused less on putting people in check and more on leading with actual integrity, the respect you want might just show up. Because let's be clear, it's not about your title, it's about how you carry it. If folks don't respect your position, maybe it's because you haven't earned that respect. Maybe it's not about them. Maybe it's about you. You want to demand respect for the title, but you're not doing anything to elevate the role. Now let's talk about that hand. Yes, the hand. If you've seen the footage, you already know what I mean. That hand has its own storyline. Every time he talks, that hand jumps up like it's trying to steal the spotlight, waving, pointing, gesturing wildly. Sir, sit the hand down. It's doing too much. It's practically screaming, look at me, I'm the star. And honestly, it's working overtime trying to make the nonsense sound convincing. That hand deserves an award not for helping but for distracting. But here's the deeper issue. This man says, I wasn't raised to take disrespect. Okay, neither was I. Nobody should be. But if you're in a leadership role, and especially as a public servant, you need to learn how to separate disrespect from disagreement. Every critique isn't an attack. Every question isn't rebellion. This ain't a dictatorship, no matter how much your hand might think so. You're the mayor. That means you serve the people. You don't rule over them. And if someone calling you Chris shakes you this hard, maybe it's time to reflect. Take a moment, look in the mirror, and not to adjust your crown, but to ask yourself why you need one so badly. So yeah, we're going all the way down this rabbit hole, and I'm bringing receipts because this ain't leadership. This is performance. And baby, it's giving community theater, not city hall. Anyway, sir, what's your answer? Who is freedom of speech for? Everyone. That's the short answer. But let's actually break down what that means, because people love tossing around that phrase like it's a grenade. Freedom of speech isn't free. Oh my God. I hate when people say that just because it sounds deep. Then they stare into the camera like they just delivered a word from the heavens. Freedom of speech ain't free. A dollar ain't really a dollar. Yes, it is. What are we even talking about? Let's go there. You say freedom of speech isn't free? Explain that. Break it all the way down. Are you trying to say we can't? Say what we want, because technically, we can. But if you think that means you're untouchable, oh baby, you thought wrong. You can say whatever you want, especially in the US, but that doesn't mean you can say it without consequences. That's the real part. You can walk right up to someone and say, you ain't nothing, and disrespect their mama in 3 creative ways. And legally, if you don't touch them, you're good. But if they slap you, you can't stop that hand. Sure, you can call the cops, file a report, cry to your followers, but the slap happened. You said the words. Got the reaction? See how that works? He can say it, but you can't control how people respond. That's probably what people mean when they say freedom of speech isn't free. But even then, the statement is still wrong. The First Amendment protects your right to speak freely, without government punishment. It doesn't protect you from getting dragged in the comments, side-eyed in public, or slapped in real life. That's not how it works. Now back to this man. This isn't just some dude yelling on the corner. This is the mayor, a whole public official. And here he is acting like he's still in the schoolyard, saying if someone talks sideways, they'd gone catch these hands. Oh, you mean that same hand that kept waving in the interview like it was begging for its own spotlight? That hand is going to be famous before he is. But seriously, you're the mayor. You should be above this. You should be wise, composed, steady. Think Obama. Maybe he throws a slick joke or a playful jab, but never disrespect. Never lowbrow. What you're doing, sir, is tacky. It screams, I'm sensitive. And when you're in leadership, being that fragile is dangerous. You don't get to walk around talking wild, then demand respect back. Respect doesn't work like that. You earn it, you model it, you maintain it. If someone disrespects you, and your first response is to threaten or retaliate, you're not a leader. You're a bully in a blazer. Let's get into the receipts, though. This man has been kicking people out left and right. Literally calling up his squad to yank folks out of public meetings just for having an opinion. There was one woman, she actually worked there, who said something he didn't like. What happened? Boom. 8 guys dragging her out. Arrested her and her mom. Who wasn't even doing anything. Just followed along calmly. Arrested. But sure, he doesn't go after people who speak against him. That's a bold-faced lie. Flat out. And don't get me started on the Thornton Township mess. This man stood there, looked us in the eye, and said, nope, I'm not running. Lied like it was nothing. Then what happened? His name showed up on the ballot, clear as day, trying to take Napoleon's old seat. He lied right to our faces, Said one thing, did another. Say it with me now. Liar, liar. I don't like this man. Can you tell? Yes, he's a public servant. But there has to be limits. Standards, decorum. If someone steps out of line, you pull them aside like an adult. Hey, I hear you. But that's not how we do things here. Can you tone it down? If they don't, then that's on them. But you don't stoop. You don't act out. You set the tone. You're the leader. Yes, people have the right to speak. That doesn't mean feelings don't matter. Where's the professionalism? When does it kick in? Because right now, all we're seeing is pettiness wrapped in a title. You remember that moment? I told him I was coming, and he said, I'm ready for you. I said, oh, so you think you're locking me up? And he replied, I don't lock people up, but if you need locked up, you need locked up, sir. What? That passive-aggressive threat told me everything I needed to know. And here's the truth. When you're a public official, your clapback becomes a headline. Your words become a soundbite. You don't get the luxury of reckless speech. It's the price of the job. It's called self-control. Imagine a kindergarten teacher getting kicked by a student and then hitting the kid back. You'd be fired immediately. It's because it's not about retaliation. It's about control. That's what leadership is. That's why people like him shouldn't be mayors. He thrives on mud, chaos, and drama. He's good at stirring the pot. He's an activist at heart, not a leader. Wants power just to wield it, not to serve. And the job he's doing? Terrible. Look at him. You can tell I don't like him, right? He says people look at him funny. Starts with call. Me, Mayor Clark. Later, it's just Chris. But then on screen, his name tag says CJ Clark. Where's the mayor in that? Gone. The contradictions are wild. One moment it's, I'm one of you. I'm just Chris. The next, it's call me king. Boy, stop. You can't say I'm just a regular guy from Harvey and then demand a crown. Which one is it? Then he goes on and on. I was practicing law. People came to me with problems. I thought God is blessing me. Maybe I should bless others. Sir, start with honesty. That would be a blessing right there. Because this mess, this back and forth, this ego trip, this abuse of power, it's not leadership. It's not public service. It's not even entertaining anymore. It's embarrassing.